On today's episode, I'm going to be showing you how to put a link inside of a paragraph or any text at all. So you could do this using HTML alone, but we're going to be styling it with CSS. So that is why we're going to be using just HTML and CSS. So here is the final project of what we're going to be looking at. And as you can see, everything right here is just one bunch of text, and within those texts we have these two links. This is the first one and this is the second one. So all these texts are dummy lorem ipsum text, and yeah, so let me show you how you can actually do this, because most times you have like a blog post and maybe you want to link to another page, another website, or you want to maybe link to a video. Like you can just say click here now to watch this video. So the part where you have the click here now, you want to make that text alone to be a link, where all that text just remains as they are. So this is how you're going to do that. So I've already gone ahead to open up my folder in VS Code, and in this folder I already have the index.html and then the style.css, and as you can see, both are empty at the moment. So I'm going to create a boilerplate with Embed abbreviation or Embed shortcut in VS Code, and I'm going to give this title of link in text, just like that. And then in this body, what I can do is, as you can see, what we have here is just a h1 with our article. So I'm going to come here and type in h1. I want to give this a class of title, and then right here I'm just going to paste in our article. Then the next thing I want to do is have a p tag, and I'm also going to give this a class of text, and then I'm going to paste in a bunch of lorem. So I'm going to type lorem, let's say lorem 70, just like so, and it's going to give me this amount of lorem dummy text right here. So if I save this and then I go back to the folder, I already opened it up right here on the live server. So as you can see, this is what we have. This is the result. So we're going to be able to style it looking like this in a moment, but first let's add our link. So as you can see right now, there's no link here and there's nothing clickable right here, but the moment we'll add this right here. So right now, let's say I want to link these parts right here. So what I can do is say okay, let me just create from scratch instead of using the Embed abbreviation. So I'm going to say href, just like that, and then we're going to make it equal to and this. So right now, all right, so I have an auto completion. So the last closing tag, I'm going to bring it to the end of where I want to, so basically what we are doing is putting this text right here inside of this a tag, as you can see. So right now I can link this a tag to maybe anywhere I want to link it to. So let's say, for instance, I want to link it to Google. So all I have to do is paste in Google code, right? Google URL right here, as you can see, http google.com. So now if I save this and this page reloads, as you can see, this text is different from every other place, and when I hover over it, it's a pointer. It becomes a pointer. Let me zoom in so you can see it really well. So if I hover over this now, it becomes a pointer. All right, so now I'm going to do this for another text again. So let's say I want it to be this text now. So all I have to do is repeat the same step. So come here, href equals, and then this. So what I can do, if I paste this in, I can just change this to maybe let's say I want to do linkedin.com, just like that. Then I'm going to close this up and then copy or cut out the closing tag and then paste it after the text you want right here. So basically we're just putting this text inside this href right here. So if I save that now, as you can see right here, we have two links at the moment. All right, so let's see how we can style this and make this look unique. Okay, so now I'm going to come back to our VS Code, and then I'll go to the style tab right here. So in this style tab, the first thing I want to do is remove every margin and padding. It's just an habit, and it's a good practice actually when you're dealing with CSS. So I'm going to turn off the margin and then the padding, put everything on set to 0, and then the box sizing, I'm going to leave that to be border box. All right, so once I'm done with that, the next thing I want to do is, if I save this now, right now, nothing happens, and that's because I forgot to link this right here. So I have to link our CSS. So right here, I'm just going to say link and then choose this one right here. So I put it in a folder. As you can see, I have an assets folder. So the first thing I have to do is to reference the assets and then / and then I can click on this. So if I save now, as you can see, the padding and margin on this page automatically vanishes. So now, so the next thing I want to do is target the body. So for the body, I'm going to make a height of 100 view height, and then a width of 100 view width as well. Then I'm going to make a display to be flex, and justify content, that's going to be center, and then align items. Oh, what just happened? And then align items to be center. So if I hit save, as you can see, this is in the center, but we have an issue and that is both text is sitting side by side. So for us to get rid of that, all we need to do is say flex direction, and we'll set that to column. And if I hit save, as you can see, they are stacked on top of each other, just like that. All right, so let me see if I can make the text align from here and set it to left. Okay, so I have to do that manually from styling each of those contents. All right, so the next thing is to style the title. So for the title, remember we gave the h1 a class of title. So for this title, what I can do is give it a margin bottom of about let's do 1 rem, so we have a little space underneath. So if I save now, as you can see, there's a space underneath, and I want to increase the font size to about 3 rem, so we get this. And then for the body, I'm going to come back to the body and type font family. So for the font family, what I want is Montserrat. I already have this installed on my machine, so if you want to do this, either you grab it from Google Fonts or you install it as well. All right, so now you can see the fonts change automatically right here. So the next thing I want to do is to style the paragraph, which we give a class of text right here. So the first thing I want to do is set this font weight. I'm going to set the weight to 500 so that it looks a bit bold, just like that. And then the line height, I'm going to set that to about 1.5 rem, so we have some space in between, or we could increase that to, let's say, 1.8 rem, just like that. All right, so next I'm going to style the links right now. So I'm going to be targeting the links. So for the links, I know we didn't give them any class, but we can just do that by selecting the text and then a. So the anchor tags inside the text, we're going to give a display of inline block, and then we're going to give a color of black so it matches what we have. And then the next thing, although the cursor is pointer, but it's always a good practice to set it to pointer, just like so. So now if I save, as you can see, the text and everything are already black. So by default, anchor links or href, they come with this underline right here. So in order to get rid of that, all we need to do is say text transform and set that to none. So if I click that, right now. Sorry, text decoration, not text transform. Text decoration. I was wondering why it wasn't working. And you set that to none. So if I hit save, as you can see, every text right here blends in, except I alone knows where the link is. As you can see, if I overwrite here, it works. And I don't know where the other one is, so I can't really find that right now. So this is going to be difficult for your visitors as well. If they visit this article and they discover that, as you can see, they don't know that any of these things are linked, so they will just read on, because until they see something differentiating, they can like, oh, what is this? What is this part I need to talk about? There's a link here. Let me see if I can get in-depth knowledge of what this part is talking about. So they will click on that link. But now they won't even move their mouse, or they will just keep reading, both on mobile and all. They will just keep reading. So what we want to do is, first of all, I think I should, on the body, let me come back to this body right here. So I want to give this a padding, the body a padding of let's say 0 to the top and then 2 rem to the left and right, so we have enough room like so. All right, so the align items is what is centering all these things from day one. So I'm just going to get rid of the align items, and the text align as well. I'm going to get rid of that because we don't need it anymore. Okay, so moving forward, in order for me to make this known to the visitors that is a link, all I have to do is on the link, I'm just going to say first, let me make this position of relative like so, and then I want to give it a transition of 0.3 seconds, and then all ease in out, just like that. And you see the reason why we did that in a minute. So here I'm going to create say text with a dot, text A, and then what I want to do is say after. So I'm going to be using the after pseudo element right here. So first thing is going to be the content, and the content is going to be empty. Then we're going to set the position to absolute, and it is relative to the main A tag right here. So that's why we set that to relative. So the bottom, we're going to make that 0, and then the left is also going to be 0, and then the width, for the width, we're going to set that to 100%, and for the height, I'm going to leave that to 1 pixel for now. And then for this to show up, we're going to set a background property as well. So for the background, I'm just going to set that to, let's say, yellow, like we have. So if I save this now, as you can see, there's this yellow line underneath this. Or let me make this maybe red, something much attractive. Let's do red. All right, so as you can see, this is really obvious right now. So with this alone, everyone knows that, okay, this is a link, so I have to click on this link to get more information about what they are talking in this line, or maybe from here to here. So they will just click on this. Even if it's on mobile, they will just use their thumb to click on this. But this is not really nice enough. So as you can see, what I have right here is more like that highlighting pen. So that is kind of effect that I went for right here. So in order to get something like that, I'm going to increase this by, let's say, I did 50% here. So, but I could do any percent. You could do whatever you want right here, but let's leave it as 50% because it's what I showed earlier. So I don't want to confuse anybody. So 50%, just like that. So now if I save this, as you can see, the red goes all the way on top. So what I can do is set the Z index and set that to -1. And if I hit save, as you can see, the text is on top of it right now. So with that, I can easily change this to yellow because yellow works well. So So if I hit save now, as you can see, this is what we have. So in order to have this effect, as you can see, the yellow line disappears when you hover over it. So in order to get that effect, all I need to do is come down. I'm going to copy this right here, copy, and then come down here and paste it again. So before the after, I'm going to set a hover right here. So hover after, and then what I can do is I'm just going to set the width. So the width, I'm going to set that to 0. So by doing so, if I hover over this now, as you can see, it disappears. But if you want to get that cool effect where it's, it slides out, not just disappear, but slides out, all you need to do is set a transition right here. So if I set a transition to probably 3 seconds, 0.3 seconds rather, because you don't want 3 seconds to be too long. And then I'm just going to say is in out, just like that. So right now, if I hover over this, as you can see, we have that beautiful effect running on it, just like that. So this is how you get this thing done right here. As you can see, it is pretty simple, pretty easy, and there are tons of things, loads of things you can do with this pseudo element right here. You can customize this however you want. You can even maybe add in an image. You can add an image here, maybe a line that you created in Figma or something. You can just add that in right here. So it doesn't really have to be this with this yellow stuff right here. And you can also use maybe gradient colors and all those stuff, but I just think this makes more sense to people, especially elderly people. They make use of that highlighting pen when they are reading their Bible or maybe reading text and all those stuff. So if they see this, they would easily understand that it's either a link or they are trying to pass a message to them to click on this stuff, and when they click on it, they get something. So let me show you a tip. So right now, if I click on this link, as you can see, it opens up, it just refreshes our page right here. So it refreshes the page. So if I go back, I can see our page again, and I have to refresh because sometimes it breaks. So I can see our page again, but we don't really want that. What we want is something like this. Let me show you. So we want something like this article right here. When we click on this right here, as you can see, it opens up in another tab entirely. So that is what we want. So I'm going to be showing you a few things that you can do. So the first thing that I want to show you is when you come back to the index.html right here. So after the href, I want to create a target, and that target, I'm going to make an underscore blank, and then I will do the same thing for this as well. Set a target and then underscore blank, not black. All right, so by adding just these targets right here on each code, now if I save this, let me inspect this so that I can open it up in mobile view. So now if I not this, our original design. So but just for you to know that this right here is our original design, I think I should just change the color. So I'm going to come back to the body right here. So what I can do is give a color of, let's say, white, FFF, and then the background, I'm going to make that let's say 010101, just like that. And if I save right now, as you can see, this is what we get. So then we need to change the colors right here as well. So all I need to do is go back here to the text right here, the text A, and I just need to change this to FFF to be white. And as you can see, we have this right there. So now the next issue we're having is this yellow. So we could either change this to maybe blue or red, but I'll just go for blue. All right, so as you can see, this is looking nice. So I did this so you won't get confused with the original design and this. So now by adding this target right here, this target blank, if I open this up and if I should click on this link, it takes me to google.com, because if you remember, that is what we have on right here. As you can see, google.com. So it takes me to google.com, and if I come back and click on this next one, which we have LinkedIn, as you can see, it opens up in another tab, leaving this our original design open up in another tab, and brought us to this LinkedIn account right here, or LinkedIn website right here. So, but as you can see, this thing opens separately in two different tabs, and I believe this is going to be a lot annoying when you have many links on your web page, or maybe your post, and then when you click on each link, it opens up in bunch of tabs. It gets annoying and it creates a lot of tabs. So that is where this target comes in. So if you add this underscore before the blank, it makes your link opens in separate tab entirely. But watch what happens when I take off this underscore blank from both links right here and just leave only the blank right there. So now if I click, let me hit refresh so I'm sure of it. If I click on this right here, as you can see, it opens in another tab, right? And then we have our Google. And maybe when we've read the article here and we are good, okay, I now understand everything I'm reading right here. So maybe I'm reading on, and then I see another link, and then I click on that link. Watch what happens. So as you can see, it automatically refreshes the Google link that we have already. That Google tab, it turned it into the LinkedIn. It reused that tab instead of creating another tab. So no matter the amount of link you have on your article, as long as they keep clicking on it, they are only making use of one tab instead of using several tabs, maybe like 100 tab if you have 100 link on there. So it's kind of annoying, but with this, it is just perfect, as you can see right here. So that is the tip I have for you for this tutorial. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you're interested in learning more about web design and development using HTML, CSS, SAS, JavaScript and React.js, or UI UX design in Figma, Adobe XD, Sketch, Photoshop and other design tools out there to become a better web designer, consider subscribing to this channel. I cover the fundamentals of web or UX designs with tutorials just like this one. Also, I always leave a link to all the resources in the description below, including the source code of the project you are on. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe for more. Peace.